All right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back to the Life Be Lifing podcast. I'm your host, Coach Emery Cannon, and today we have back with us on the brand new third season of Life Be Lifing, the great, the infamous Rashida Willis. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Oh, I cannot complain.
No
So
complaints.
last time you were here, you were in a different space, a different world.
Yes.
And I reached out to you, and then you called back, and you was like, "I'm ready to do this again." And you had some different topics. I thought it was amazing,
Yes.
Amazing show. A lot of people reached out about the show, and you did an amazing job. I really appreciate it. And I want to thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming out, because I always appreciate when people tell their story.
Okay.
But now you have some new stories to tell.
No, not really new stories, but we had a lot to talk about.
Yes. So is this going to be a continuation of more life experiences after, or were you continue? How are you feeling about that?
Well, it's not going to be about more life experiences, just more perspectives about things I've gone through.
Okay.
I don't know. I think we decided we were going to dive into the marriage and divorce and dating.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Exactly. So I'm glad you brought all of that up. So you've reached divorce point.
Yes. Yes. I've been legally divorced since March of this year.
Now, since divorce, have you started dating, or?
Yes,
Because
I have.
the followers are going to want to know.
Yes, I have.
Okay, great. So I guess let's start from that point of divorce.
Okay.
What emotions, what feelings, where were you leading into that point?
Well, it was long overdue.
Mm-hmm.
We were married a total of 22 years. We divorced after 15 years, and we were not married 2 years, and then we decided to get married again, thinking things were going to be different, but nothing changed.
Mm-hmm.
So ultimately, we decided to divorce again, and this time is for good.
Wow. And emotional wise, how do you feel about that?
Well, the first time was more difficult because, of course, we weren't done really. But this time, I think we both were at a point where we were like, "Yeah, it's a wrap. No need to go further. Let's get it over with.
Get it over with. Get it done."
Yes, I will say, in the beginning, I'm sorry, at the first time we were married, it was to the point I felt that it should have been a wrap then, but I think both of us wanted to try again. We had children, small children. So I think for me, I'm not going to speak for him, but for me, that was a big part of trying to make it work again. And then, I still loved him, had feelings. So, but it just wasn't the same the second time.
Well, try new things and try old things and try to make old things new things. It sometimes it works out,
right?
And sometimes it doesn't,
right?
So as far as like you say, you guys had kids involved. How has that been a smooth transition for you?
Yes, and I just want to say this: people say do it for the kids. No, I think we did more damage to the kids doing it for the kids.
Can you elaborate on that?
So we have 3 children together. We both had children from previous relationships. But our 3 kids together, they've seen a lot. And you don't realize how much your kids see, what they hear. And it affects them going into their adult life. And it affects the way they show up in relationships. I know I've had discussions with my daughters. They're 22 and 23. And one of my daughters said, I'm never getting married.
And do you think that's because
and
of what
I
she
asked
saw?
her, I said, why? She said, because I seen what you and daddy went through, and no. But, we had a conversation, and I just had to let her know that, it doesn't have to be like that for her. Just take my situation and learn from it.
That part.
And, just, if you have any questions, just come to me. We can talk about anything, And I just give her insight on why some of the things were the way they were with us without going into too much detail, because a lot of it is not their business and I don't want to burden my kids
Right.
with any of that information. But we talk, and I just give them certain tools,
Life
certain life
lessons.
lessons to go
Yeah.
by. So hopefully they take heed and they don't let my situation affect how they show up.
And you also got to tell kids about the good times. A lot of times they don't. They Most people only remember what's traumatizing them, and not always when they had a great time. Like,
But that's the thing, though. There were more bad times than good times, and a lot of things were lived out in front of my kids. Like, so for me, I'm always the person that, let's talk about this later, or certain things the kids don't need to know because it's not their business. And on his part, certain things were more out in the open. So they saw a lot of things that they probably shouldn't have seen, and that has been what's tainted their vision of what a successful marriage or relationship or should be, or it's also not giving them enough hope to feel like they can have a successful relationship or marriage. So
it's all about that energy when you meet somebody.
yes,
So hopefully,
yes,
it doesn't traumatize them from at least trying the life experiences.
Yes.
We all have to, life be life in either way. We have to figure out what's best for us at the moment, and that's basically what you and him did. Y'all figured out that it was best to live separate and co-parent and do it that way.
Yes.
So life after divorce. What have you found out? What have you discovered in this new world? Everything's new. Yeah. It's not like the 90s when people used to date, right? Where you get courted and dating. No. So tell me more about the new life.
So one of the biggest things I've discovered is that I like my own company.
You loving yourself.
Yes, I like going home and not having to consider another person, so to speak. Well, in the beginning, it was like that. Let me just say that. I've learned a lot of things about myself that I did not know. I've learned to do things by myself. I've learned to depend on myself. Yeah. I learned that I like myself.
Okay.
Because for a long time, when you're in a relationship and everything goes wrong, you kind of blame yourself, or you kind of feel like it's your fault, or you kind of feel like, sometimes you feel a little worthless. So I've learned that I actually like myself.
Let's go back to that what you just talked about, blaming yourself in a relationship, right? Is that, do you think that's based off of narcissism, or where you felt like you were forced to blame yourself, or what do you think led you to saying it's not his fault, it's my fault?
Well, a lot of it was being made to feel like it was my fault. When you have somebody constantly, well, not constantly, but sometimes telling you that, oh, what you're doing isn't good enough, or making you feel like that, or making you feel like as a wife, your job is to be subservient to them. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like we're going to get into that a little later.
And then you feel like whenever you decide that you want to do something for yourself, it's thrown back into your face like, no, like you're being selfish.
Okay.
My job is to be there for my husband, my kids, take care of the house, and do all of those motherly duties, and not really have a space to nurture myself. So that's and I just got into that mode. Like I didn't think about nothing else. If I decided that I wanted to buy myself a shirt, I felt guilty afterwards.
You contemplated buying yourself a shirt.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I felt when I was married.
Okay. And so now looking back, you think you deserved the shirt?
Yeah, of course.
All right.
And much more than a shirt. I deserve the pants, the shoes, the
absolutely,
purse, everything.
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
But mind shifting takes so much out of people because you're starting to think an entirely different way than what you're used to thinking.
Right.
And so, it's just like being a parent for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And so you spoke about this last time you were here. It's like, everything you did was for your kids,
Right.
kids, and even staying in a marriage is
Mm-hmm.
for your kids.
I think what I've come to realize is, and a lot of what I see on social media, women are socialized to believe that your whole existence is to become a wife, become a mother, take care of your house. And whenever you step outside of that little box, then you're going against everything that you've been made to think that you're supposed to be, you know. And when you choose yourself, I see a lot of this when a woman chooses herself or she's empowered by herself. A lot of people, they just bash it, and they make you feel like you're going against, your husband, you're going against your man, you're going against what society deems to be what the perfect example of what you're supposed to be. And a lot of times, like, I'm active on social media, and I post stuff, and when I do, I get a lot of backlash for what I post, especially if it's something that empowers women, but I don't care.
Well, and I believe in empowering yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And by empowering yourself, you start to take a lead on empowering other people.
Yes.
And so, like, a lot of people don't even know that power exists within themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's any human, not just women, but to just go back to what you were saying on being on social media and you posting the things that you believe and the things that you feel others need to know. What made you start to do that?
Well, I used to post a lot of things about my personal life. I don't do it so much anymore. But I do notice that sometimes when I post certain things and I touch certain people, I get so many messages saying, "Oh, I'm glad you shared that.
Okay.
Oh, that helped me. I didn't know, I thought I was the only person that went through stuff like that." And it's like, no, I feel like a lot of women feel like I do.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them. And it's not the fact that when a woman expresses that she's unhappy, society automatically equates that with, oh, she's ungrateful.
Okay.
Especially if she's in a situation where people feel like, oh, she's lucky, or she got a good man, or everything on the outside looks good.
The perception looks good.
It looks good.
But the reality.
And she's unhappy. And it's not necessarily that she's unhappy with her husband. She's just maybe unhappy with her life at the moment. And the minute that she expresses that, she gets the backlash. Oh, you're ungrateful. Oh, you're unhappy with your life. What your kids gonna think? Aisha Curry, for example, they always take her words out of context.
Oh yeah, daily.
All she said was, back then I didn't want kids. Oh, could you imagine? And I'm sure you've envisioned things for your life when you was in your 20s.
Yeah.
That you're totally doing something different now.
I always envision some of the things that I do.
Right.
I envisioned it in a different capacity. Like I never really thought I would be in like St. Louis right now in this point, but things brought me back full circle here, and I'm blessed to be here.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying on that. Here's where I want to go with that though is like when you think about the things that Aisha Curry says. And these are some of the same things you kind of said on the last time you were here to a certain degree, not as far as she went with it, but what do you think now?
Okay, so I have 5 kids, right? Never, if you talk to me in my 20s, there's no way I would have said I'm having 5 kids or that I even wanted kids. But I have kids, right? And they've been a very big part of my life. I love my kids, all of them, to death. And I'm there. I've been there for them. I'm there for them. I'll always be there for them. Nothing's going to change that. But I can also, in that same respect, say, oh, when I was in my 20s, I never thought that I would have 5 kids. I never wanted 5 kids.
Mm-hmm.
But does that make me a horrible mother? No.
No, because you still
Does that make me ungrateful?
You still stood and did what you were supposed to do.
Does that make me ungrateful? No.
No, not at all.
So I think that's where it gets thrown out of context. It's like, and then people evolve. I'm certainly not the same person that I was in my 20s. Certain things that I've done that I said that I would never do, I found myself doing. Some of the things that I've been through that I would say that I would never have gone through, I've found myself going through. So you can speak over your life in your 20s, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's how it's going to show up. Like I'm almost 50, so that's not how it's going to show up later in life. But does that mean you're a hypocrite? No. It just means that you've gone through life, you've evolved, and now the way that your life is now is different than what you may have envisioned when you were in your 20s.
Yeah, so life was life.
Yeah. Yes.
Back to the main story is because life be life.
Yes.
And that's why we're here today, is to help those out there that think that they're alone in what they're doing. Okay. And you've experienced a lot of life.
Yes.
In many different capacities, parenting, and you've been in the work, you're in the workforce, you've been in the workforce, you have a degree, so you overcame a lot of obstacles to get where you are today. Right. And just like you said, you not the same person you was when you were 20. I don't believe you're the same person you was when you were here 6 months ago.
Oh, really? Why would you?
Because your posts have changed on Facebook. Yeah. So tell us about that transition, because you're not that same person. Tell us what mind shift have you had, and why have you evolved into who you are today?
So every day I find myself getting closer to God, and holding strong to my faith, and just building my character more and more, so that my way of thinking is different.
Yeah.
Things that I probably would have entertained back then, I don't entertain anymore.
Give us an example of that. I came here to get deep today. Okay.
So let me think. So I used to love like reality shows, right? Mm-hmm. And I still watch them, but I've changed the amount of time and attention that I give to them. Like, I was one of those people that would watch a reality show on Sunday. I'd be on Facebook by Monday talking about it, be in the group talking about it, and just giving way too much energy to it.
And I remember that.
You do.
Yeah.
So now it's just certain things that, like I say, I still watch them because it's my guilty pleasure entertainment.
Right.
But I just really don't give, after I've watched it and the episode is over, I really don't give that much energy to it.
Right.
So that's one thing. I used to subscribe to a lot of like gossip sites and things like that. I don't really pay attention to that stuff anymore.
Why have you evolved from the gossips? Because it's a certain thing that I see that you may not see, and I just want to know if you see it. Like, when your posts were about the the gossip of what was going on in the TV shows, like, you were at that point in your life, it was your guilty pleasure, but it was really your building of your Facebook network as well. So what do you think changed the outlook of gossip to the positivity that you put out there now, and actually the knowledge that you throw at people to help them grow as well?
Because I think the reason why I may have entertained it too much is because I was at a point in my life where I wasn't 100% happy. So it's kind of like my escape to be able to go out and talk about everybody else's problems.
There you go.
And I focus on my own and focus on what I needed to do to improve my situation. And once I went through a couple of things and I had the time to really think and navigate through some situations, it made me realize that, I need that time to be focused on that more so than.
That's what I was looking for. A lot of times we don't like to say the hard work, but that it took for you to get somewhere, right? And this is goes out to anybody that's trying to do anything in life, right?
Yes.
Good, bad, and different.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot of work to do anything.
It does.
And it takes a lot of work to grow.
There's not enough hours in the day. Like, I start every morning with a to-do list. And some of it has work stuff on it, but a lot of it has a lot of personal development stuff on it. Mm-hmm. And getting through the 8 hours of work, I have time in the morning. So I wake up at 4 o'clock, maybe 3:50. And then I work out at 4 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And then I work out maybe for about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on what I'm doing. And then after that, I take about another hour or so just to kind of like meditate. I start meditation like in the shower. And then I spend some time journaling or reading or whatever it is I feel like I want to do within that period of time. If I need to go in the kitchen and mop the floor before I go to work, just whatever I can do that'll just, while I'm doing it, that'll give my mind time to figure some stuff out, right?
Okay. Process.
So that's kind of like my self-care. And then I like to take my time in the morning. I don't like to feel rushed. Mm-hmm. So I don't have to be at work till 7:30, but I'm up at 3:50 every morning.
Right.
But even with that time being said, when I'm at work, I'll say, when I get home, I need to do X, Y, Z. But it just seems like there's not even enough time in the day to complete some of the simplest tasks.
But you're completing all these other tasks, right? Mm-hmm. And this is what's important, and this is what I want the listeners to know. Completing stuff helps you get to the bigger goal.
Yes.
Whether you completed every task you wanted to do that day, or if you completed 3 out of the 7, you're still reaching for something.
Right.
And it took work for you to get to that point. Right. It took work for you to get to the point you were before you are where you are now. Mm-hmm. And it took work to get through the marriage, and it took work to raise the kids.
Yes.
And a lot of people want to skip the work and just reap the rewards.
Yes.
And there are no rewards without work.
I agree with that.
And so you've been working and you've been working and you've been working on yourself. And if you look, because you know how a person thinks, if they allow themselves to be free with the world, how you can see how a person thinks and how they evolve.
Yes.
And you can really watch it. And I watch a lot of my Facebook friends, how they evolved over the last few years, especially since like COVID hit. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people have had a chance to really, and the government shut down and all of this, a lot of people have had a chance to really look at their lives and say, and I think at some point it snapped for you, like, I don't want to be here anymore.
Right.
I want to be here.
I will say this though. I think divine intervention kind of had a lot to do with it too, because back in April of 2024, so last year, locked my page up, and I couldn't get in it. And I don't know if you remember, but I didn't. My first Facebook page, I didn't have my first name on there. It was like my middle name and then my last name. So when they locked my page up, because they said it was some suspicious activity, and I had to send my ID and everything, but they said the name on my ID didn't match the name on my page, so they never unlocked it. So I had to start my Facebook page over.
Wow.
So I say that to say this. A lot of these things that stole my attention, that didn't really benefit what I was needing to do in my life, got left behind on that last Facebook page. So I do have a lot of followers from that old page, but I've also gained a lot of new followers that are more positive, that are more driven. They have more things going for them. So it's people that I can look to and be motivated by.
Okay, so you catch a little motivation.
So I feel like that was God letting me know that I needed to like let some of that other stuff go. He took that Facebook page away from me and I had to start over. And I met a lot of new, interesting people on this new page too. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So God intervened. Mm-hmm. And I want to take a good quote that it's in my new book, You Deserve, comes out January 3rd.
Way to plug.
But in her, I quoted what Jay-Z said: "Things don't happen to us; they happen for us."
I agree.
And so, I don't believe anything is a mistake.
I agree with that too.
I think no matter if you try to push it, if you try to prevent it, things are going to happen a certain way. And the only thing that makes the difference is how you're going to look at it.
Exactly.
What mindset, what mind shift are you in, and how are you going to look at it? And so now, coming from a marriage and before marriage, looking at how people courted you before marriage, during marriage, you didn't have to worry about it. And now after marriage, and so now you have to get back in this dating pool of what it is, right? What have you seen that's a lot different? What do you see that's similar? And what do you see that you like? And what do you see that you don't like?
Well, I really can't compare because I've never really dated and courted before. So I had my first relationship, which started in high school and then ended in my early 20s. And I have 2 kids from that relationship. And then I was kind of by myself for a period. And then I met my husband.
Oh, so
and
that's
then
2.
And that was it. Yeah, just 2. So I've only had like 2 serious relationships. I wasn't married to the first person, but married to the second person. So I never really dated. I've had guys that liked me in between, but nothing. I had 2 small kids. I was really focused on raising my kids. So when I met my husband and we hit it off, that was that.
Okay, so what do you see now?
Now I just see a lot of people that's trying to waste their time.
What do you mean?
Well, let me take that back because I don't really. Let me take that back. I'm trying to say this nice. I don't know.
No, we raw here.
I don't necessarily know what people's intentions be.
Right. Okay.
So I'm kind of guarded. You
got your wall up.
Yeah.
Like going to a car dealership, just kicking tires.
Yeah. That's how it's been. I started out pretty guarded. Just, you get a lot of guys coming into your inbox.
Is that how you meet most people, is through the inbox?
No, I meet people in person.
Okay. Like out at the gas station?
Yeah,
or are you in the grocery store?
Yeah, just out
hitting the club.
I don't do the club.
You don't do the club, so you have to be at the gas station. Yeah. You have to be at the gas station. You got to be at. If you want to meet her, you got to be at the gas station, or you got to be.
Just randomly. You know what? But I do meet people through the inbox.
Yeah.
But I just feel like that's easier for a lot of people.
Are you on like Tinder?
No.
You don't do the internet dating?
No.
Okay, so the only internet dating you got going on is like Facebook?
Well, I'm not really dating on Facebook.
No, I don't think you're dating. I guess what I mean is the only way people can really hit you up and try to shoot their shot is through the
mostly
inbox.
Yeah, mostly.
Do they ever try to post it on your post?
No. Well, some a lot. Yeah, I know you see it. Don't. I know you see it, but I just I just don't entertain a lot of it.
Do you entertain any of it? we already know you're not entertaining a lot of it or all of it. We want to know what you're entertaining. And what do you see? Have you been out on a date? What did you like? What didn't you like? We here for all of it today. This is the scoop.
I've been on dates.
Unless you're gonna write a book and you're gonna put it in here.
I've not been on many dates lately. I've been on dates though. A lot of times though, you go on that date. And then after you go on the date, you may or may not hear from somebody again.
What do you think caused that?
Well, a lot of times it's me.
Okay.
I'm not going to even lie.
What did you do?
Nothing. I just, I don't know. I don't be feeling it.
So it's the energy.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say you went on one date, right? Let's just say you went on one date, and what kind of energy do you come to the date with? Are you open?
I'm open.
You boxed up?
I'm open. I'm open.
Yeah.
I'm open. And then sometimes I have to try not to talk so much.
Okay, is
You
it
know,
good
but
conversations there?
sometimes I've been on dates with some guys where it's like pulling teeth
Get information.
trying to get them not just information, just to get them to talk.
So in this dating era now, what are we? We're close to 50, and
Hmm.
so we should have a lot more experiences in life, and
Yes.
we should also be wondering like, how are you planning on retiring? Like these are the things that like
Well,
I hear out in the streets that people are looking
I
for,
wouldn't
right?
necessarily talk about retirement now.
No, I don't think talk about
Be,
it, but you should have some kind of
yeah, you
idea of
should
what
have
you're
some kind
walking
of
away
idea.
from.
But for me, like this is my idea when I go into a date. Or even when I'm meeting somebody, I don't necessarily go into it thinking that it's gonna be a love connection, right?
Mm-hmm. Going in to be a friend.
Yeah, just going in, getting to know somebody, so I never go in with the expectations of, okay, this might be the one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that. So I go in just to try to get to know them, have
Mm-hmm.
conversations, see if there's a connection, and if there's not a connection, no hard feelings or whatever. If there is, then it progresses forward.
All right. So what else? What else do you see out here? Because you are doing the post as well,
Hmm.
and so you're posting about
Yeah,
relationships,
sometimes, not all the time.
but you are posting about them. Like, so we're going to talk about that, and let's talk about what pushbacks have you got on your post.
Well, whenever I post something, I see that the men automatically get offensive.
Okay.
Always. And it's not even an attack. I may ask a question,
Mm-hmm.
just a general question. And I think sometimes I don't even have to specify that it's man or woman. Just because it's coming from me, I guess because I'm a woman, they automatically assume that it's targeted towards men and they come defensive. Like I think one example, a couple weeks ago, I made a post and I said something to the effect of um, wasting people's times if you don't have intentions or whatever. And it didn't say man or woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
But first comment I get is a man
Okay.
coming on there saying something about women and a woman, a woman, a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to tell him, hey, this wasn't a man versus women's post. This is basically a post saying no matter who you are,
Mm-hmm.
don't let XYZ happen to you.
Right.
This
So yeah, because a man can waste his time just as much as a
so
woman
it
could.
wasn't anything saying anything negative towards men, but they come up on the post and they make it that way.
Why do you think men do that in particular versus women?
Well, I think women do it too, but I think women, and I'm not gonna lie, women are so used to being disappointed that we kind of take it on the chin now.
That doesn't sound too good.
Hey, and it's almost normal for us.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a surprise anymore.
So what do you mean by that? Tell me more. What do you mean by it's not a surprise?
See, you're gonna make out. I'm not trying not to do this now.
No, it's fine. Like we're here to talk about
I
it
think
because this conversation is gonna make somebody better, right?
okay.
Whether male or female, they're gonna see what I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
and they're gonna understand,
Okay.
and it could help them change. But if people don't know, how can they change?
Right.
Now, if I give you all the knowledge to be the best person you could be, and you choose not to use it, then now it's on you. It's not on me. It's not on anybody else. It's not on the world. So let's talk about it.
Well, when I say women are used to being disappointed, I just feel like women are used to being the ones being cheated on, the ones that are put in situations by men that make them devalue themselves and make them question, is it even worth it to even be in a relationship, so to speak. You know, and no, that's not bashing men. I don't want to put that out there, but that's just a lot of what I see.
That's what you see. That's
and
your
now,
viewpoint.
Right. And now I'm starting to see a lot more men come out and say a lot of things about women that are negative. And I'm sure that's based on their experience,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of projection going on. But it just causes so much friction when you're trying to discuss a simple have a simple conversation about dating. It turns into, well, women do this, men do that, women do this, and it's like, okay, so how can we have a solution based conversation without throwing blame, or just listening to the other perspective.
That part. I think that's where that
Mm-hmm.
you hit it right on the head.
Yeah.
I don't think we're having conversations
Mm-hmm.
about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think what happens is you have a bad experience, or even not even a whole experience, because you didn't give it a chance for a whole experience. So you had a bad moment.
Yes.
You didn't look at the entire body of work of what somebody has done, and now you're taking that bad moment and carrying it forward to the next relationship, and forward to the next relationship, versus taking the entire body of work, like, this person really treated me well.
Mm-hmm.
This moment right here was terrible. You get what I'm
But
saying?
let's take it back a lot further than that.
Okay.
A lot of, just as well as women have daddy issues, a lot of men have had unfavorable situations with their mothers. And a lot of that goes into their relationships too.
I think most people, I think most males have bad relationships with their fathers. And so if you,
I've seen it firsthand where it stems back to the relationship with the mom. And it's cliche to say, but a lot of people, I've seen it a lot of times when they say women, look at a man's relationship with his mother before you get involved. And like I said, I know firsthand that that can actually be a contribution to the way into the way of how a man feels about women.
It can be, but you can't. So let's say you've seen that twice, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's say out of 10 relationships, you've seen it twice.
Okay, and I understand that, but see, you just proved my point, because just because I've seen it twice does not mean that's how it is across the board, right?
No, what I was going to say is you have to take those two cases, and then what I was saying was the fathers is where I feel like it's going bad at, and then you take those cases and see which ones make the most sense.
I think it's a case by case situation, but
I think life is a case by case situation.
But I do feel like some men, it doesn't even have to do with the relationships that the romantic relationships that they've had with women. Some of them, I'm even I'm even willing to just say a small percentage of them, they've had some trash relationships with their moms, and they carry that into the relationships that they have with their significant others.
So when you see these cases, what did the mother do in those situations to make the situation go bad with the son? Like, what kind of relationship did they have growing up? The child have growing up. Is it a son blaming the mother for his faults, or is it the mother?
Well, it can be a number of things stemming from early childhood. The mother.
No, I'm just saying, like, in what you've seen.
I've seen.
Yeah, is it because parenting? You could be a parent that don't know enough to be a good parent, right? Exactly. Or you could have just been a bad child that was.
And I'm not blaming
I ain't think
anybody for that. I'm just saying that relationship may have not been the best, or not necessarily the relationship, but maybe the son may have seen his mom in a bad light for the way she carried herself.
Yeah.
Anything, not necessarily that she's done anything to him directly, but the way she's carried herself, the way she's run her house, the way XYZ. It could stem, the way he feels about women can stem from that perception that he's
so just how he views her.
Yeah, okay. A lot of that. So it does, like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be that he's had bad relationships with women. Okay, I'll give you an example. So, see, I want to give examples without going into too much detail of my personal life.
No, it's fine.
But so my ex, he always felt like his mom was never there for him. Any situation that he's had, she's always, may have gone against him with the other person, not to get too deep into it. But I saw that show up in how he dealt with me in the relationship. If he asked me to do something and I said, I'll do it, but not right now, temper tantrum. Because if I felt like I didn't want to do it right now, oh, well, if you don't want to do it, then just say that.
Yeah.
But I know that stems from something
Yes.
back there,
Yeah.
or this may be something simple, but like his mom, I guess, didn't cook a lot. So that expectation came on me, which I cook, but the one time that I decided I didn't want to cook or I didn't feel like cooking, attitude. So
would you say you cooked 5 days a week, 6 days
when
a
my
week?
kids were younger, I cooked every day.
Okay.
I had no choice.
So he was used to it.
Because I had two previously, and then he had two that he brought with him that he had custody of, and then we had three together. So I had 7 kids in the house. I raised 7 kids. So yeah, I cooked every day.
Yeah,
but as
that would be expensive going
right?
out.
But as kids got older, kids moved out, and then I got, I started going to school, doing a lot of stuff for myself. So it may be that once or twice a week that I don't feel like cooking, or even if I didn't feel good, it was always, if I didn't feel good, so I guess that means you're not cooking anything. So, so now, guess what? If I don't feel like cooking, I don't cook.
So do you cook a lot now, or do you cook little?
Not really.
Okay.
I might do 2, maybe 3 times a week. But for me, it's only me. And then I have my youngest son, which just turned 18.
Okay.
And then I do have a daughter at home, but she's 23.
So cooking is not a high priority anymore. Not. So just for the guys that's looking to...
And you know what? That question used to irritate me. It used to irritate me so bad when a man asked me, "Can you cook?"
Yeah, I can, but I'm not.
But now, my answer is I can cook, but I don't like to.
Okay.
And do with that what you may.
And it's okay if he can cook too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I cook. I cook sometimes, but you're not gonna get a meal 7 days a week. Not cooking now. I might DoorDash some stuff. Or
you don't feel guilty about that? Like
no.
So you don't feel guilty that the last guy got you to cook all the time, and then now you don't.
No. Because you know what? I will say this: if I'm with somebody and I really like them like that, and we're around each other like that, for sure I'll cook more. But it's because I want to. But don't make me feel like I have to.
You have to cook.
Yeah.
Tell them
because the minute you start making me feel like I have to do it, like it's a chore, it's a wrap. Because I start.
So those are non-negotiable for you.
No, I'm saying when it's a wrap, when I feel like I'm being made to do it, or it's like something that's expected, it's a chore. I get resentful, and I don't want to do it.
Gotcha. All right, so y'all know now, right? If she want to cook, she gonna cook. If she don't, she don't.
Right. So if I cook 3 times a week, and on those other 4 times I'm ordering out, don't give me no hassle about it.
So your message to people today: we back here. We're in front of the people, and you have evolved. You've changed, and
a little bit. Not much.
I feel like you've changed a lot. Even in these past 6 months, I feel like the change. And one thing about us, we're life learners, and we're always going to continue to evolve. So the person you met today, I might not be that same person come March 20th, or I might not be that same person come August 19th. I might not be that same person. I'm continuously evolving my life. So hopefully, we all are doing that as life learners. So. We don't know where we're going in the future, but we know where we are right now.
Right.
Control your controllables. What do you have as a message to the people out here that they can take with them? The single parents, the married wife that feels stuck, the person with 5 kids that don't know how to get the education or even take the steps to do it. What do you have that you've experienced it, you've lived through it, and you've done it successfully? What can you give them? What motivation that one step that they can take that they can go with?
Well, with anything, half the battle is just realizing it, right? And if you realize that you're in that place of hopelessness, because I've been there, you just have to realize that you deserve better.
You deserve.
There wasn't a plug to your book. But but once you realize that you deserve better, you'll do whatever you need to do, take whatever steps you need to take to do better and to become better. So my advice would be to just be real with yourself. Don't be putting on airs for the public, for the social media. You know, yeah, everything looks great on the outside and don't nobody know what you're struggling with on the inside, but you know. So you have to be real with yourself. And if you can't be real with yourself, then you can't do nothing.
Wow, that's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So just think about that. If you out here putting on a show for social media, I mean, it's great if you are, if you're getting paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
But just remember one thing: inside, you could be eating yourself up, or you could
Yes.
be stopping yourself from growth. That's a powerful,
Mm-hmm.
powerful ending to today's session.
Yes.
We really appreciate you coming
Thank
back
you for
out.
having me.
And don't forget to go follow her on Facebook. I mean, she's growing her clientele every day, and she's giving out some very positive messages. Rashida Willis, and spell it for them just so they can find you.
RASHIDAWILLIS.
And we really appreciate you tuning in. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to the Because Life Be Life and podcast. Thank you again for tuning in. Thank you again
Thank you for having
coming
me.
back and giving us such
You know
an
I'm coming
amazing,
back,
amazing
right?
show. This was so
We're gonna have to make
powerful
this a
today.
series. No?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Look at me coming to take over.
Thank you guys. Tune in next week. New guests, new times, new shows. We're here for you. Bye for now.
Bye.